Hello everyone, this is Sayan and welcome to my biology class. Today we will discuss about the basic concepts of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is an important topic at school and college level in biological science. And through this video, I shall try to make your concept clear over different basic conceptual areas of photosynthesis like time, place, pigments of photosynthesis and many others. So after watching this video completely, you will be able to move with the detailed chemical reactions involved during light and dark phase reaction of photosynthesis. And if you like this video, then don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon of our channel. So let's get started.
Let's start with its definition. Photosynthesis is a physiochemical process by which green plants produce carbohydrates in presence of sunlight, carbon dioxide and water. So this is the most simple definition by which you can define the process. Now if you want to know the overall chemical equation for photosynthesis, it can be represented like this: 6CO2 plus 12H2O, that is water, produce one molecule of glucose, that is C6H12O6, plus 6 molecule of oxygen and 6 molecule of water. This entire reaction takes place in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. So this is the overall chemical equation for the photosynthesis. This process enables green plants to convert solar energy into chemical energy and stored it in the form of glucose for the entire living world. That's why green plants are also called as autotrophs. And their mode of nutrition is referred as autotrophic nutrition. Now let's know about the time of photosynthesis, when the chemical reaction of photosynthesis takes place. Generally, during the daytime, the process like photosynthesis takes place in the plant because sunlight is a very important factor for photosynthesis. Let's discuss about the site of photosynthesis, where the chemical reaction of photosynthesis takes place within the plant cells. Generally, the chemical reaction of photosynthesis takes place within the thylakoids of granum disc, which are located within the chloroplast of green mesophyll cells. So imagine this is a mesophyll tissue generally found in leaves of green plants, and within mesophyll tissue we have several millions of green plant cells, and we all know that in plant cells we may find a special type of cell organelles, that is chloroplast. So this is a chloroplast cell organelles. Within chloroplast, this regions is known as stroma and these stacks are known as grana. These grana are actually made up of individual single granum thylakoid. So if we enlarge this view, imagine this is a single granum disc or granum thylakoid. So on the granum thylakoid membrane, the chlorophyll molecules are exactly located. So these are chlorophyll molecules. And these are the best place of chemical reactions of photosynthesis. So here the exact chemical reaction of photosynthesis takes place. Now we will discuss about different pigments those facilitate or help the process of photosynthesis. As we earlier discussed that chlorophyll is the most important pigment, green colored pigment in plant cells. Chlorophyll molecules are of several different types: chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, C, D and chlorophyll E types. But among these several 5 types, chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B are prevalently found in all green plants. Chlorophyll molecules are generally magnesium containing pigments. So you may find the presence of magnesium ion in the chlorophyll molecules, like that of iron present in the hemoglobin pigments. Now we discuss about different other accessory pigments those help in the process of photosynthesis. So these are the accessory pigments: carotenoids and phycobilins. Carotenoids has 2 other type of pigments. Those can also be categorized under carotenoids. These are carotenes, the orange colored pigment, and xanthophyll, another yellow colored pigment. Xanthophyll. Carotenes generally help in the light harvestation, protect chlorophyll from photooxidation, provide coloration to fruits, flowers, etc. And xanthophyll help in dissipation of excess amount of energy from plants. What is phycobilins? Phycobilins is also a type of accessory pigment. Those help in harvesting of light energy and transfer it to chlorophyll A and B. So thus, these accessory pigments also help in the process of photosynthesis. Now, let's know about the spectrum, the light that can be absorbed by the green plants. The photosynthetically active radiation, which is also known as PAR or PAR. The part of visual spectrum used in photosynthesis has a wavelength between 400 to 700 nanometer. It is called PAR or photosynthetically active radiation. So, plant can absorb the visual spectrum, the light that falls within our visual spectrum that start from 400 to 700 nanometer range. And green plants can photosynthesize at its best in the presence of blue and red light respectively. So thus, plant can photosynthesize within the range of our visual spectrum light range. Now, let's discuss about different phases of chemical reaction of photosynthesis. The chemical reaction of photosynthesis are broadly categorized into two phases, light phase reaction and dark phase reaction. Let's discuss about the light phase reaction right now. This phase, light phase reaction, is also known as light dependent reaction because direct sunlight is very necessary for the chemical reaction of this phase. And these chemical reactions are completed within the granum thylakoid. So let's now discuss about the different phases of light phase reaction. The first phase is the absorption of sunlight. Green plants can absorb sunlight within the range of 680 to 700 nanometer the best. So sunlight get absorbed by the plant parts, especially the leaves. The second part is activation of chlorophylls. After receiving high energy photon particles from sunlight, chlorophylls get excited and release electron. They release high energy electrons. Then the third point is electron transport. The released electron by the excited chlorophyll is then accepted and carry forwarded by several electron carriers like pheophytin, cytochrome, plastoquinone, etc. The next and fourth phase of light phase reaction is photophosphorylation. What is photophosphorylation? The production of ATP. The production of ATP from ADP. The production of ATP from ADP in presence of sunlight is known as photophosphorylation. The term photo means light and phosphorylation means addition of phosphate group with the ATP to form the ATP. The entire chemical reaction of photophosphorylation can again be divided into two subtypes, cyclic photophosphorylation and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. During cyclic photophosphorylation, only ATP is produced, and during non-cyclic photophosphorylation in plant cells, ATP along with NADPH and oxygen is also produced during non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So, in plant point of view, the non-cyclic photophosphorylation is chemically very important process than the cyclic photophosphorylation. And another reaction get coupled with this non-cyclic photophosphorylation, that is known as Hill reaction, where water molecule, one molecule of water gets split to form hydrogen ion and hydroxyl ion. And finally, from this hydroxyl ion, it will be negative in charge, and from this hydroxyl ion, oxygen molecule will produce. So thus, plant can produce ATP, NADPH and oxygen via non-cyclic phosphorylation. The products like ATP, NADPH produced during light phase reaction get utilized during dark phase reaction in plants. Now let's try to explain the process of light phase reaction with the help of a very simple diagrammatic representation. So let's try to get a clear idea about the light phase reaction with this simple schematic representation. Chlorophyll get excited by absorbing sunlight. These are sunlight. Whenever chlorophyll get excited by sunlight, it will release electrons, and these electrons will flow via different electron acceptor and electron carriers. These are different electron carriers. Whenever these excited electrons will travel via different protein acceptors and electron carriers, they will produce different important products like oxygen, NADPH, ATP during the process of light phase reaction. So this is a simple representation of light phase reactions. The product like NADPH, ATP produced during light phase reaction will help the plants during its next phase reaction. The next phase is the dark phase reaction. The phase is also known as light independent phase. Direct sunlight is not required during this phase. The reaction continues even in the presence or absence of sunlight. That is, this phase of photosynthesis may occur during daytime or nighttime. But during nighttime, the reaction will continue until the NADH and ATP produced during light phase get completely used up. The chemical reactions of this phase completed within the stroma of the chloroplast. And as this reaction was first studied by scientist Kelvin, this chemical reaction is also known as Kelvin cycle. So let's start our discussion and know detailed phase of Kelvin cycle. The Kelvin cycle is also known as C3 cycle. Its first phase is carboxylation. During this phase, a 5-carbon molecule known as RUBP, already present in the mesophyll cells, get converted into 3-carbon molecule 3-PGA phosphoglycerate by absorbing 1 molecule of carbon dioxide and water from the atmosphere. And during this conversion, very important enzyme Rubisco facilitate the process. So after carboxylation, RUBP get converted into 3-PGA, where the free carbon dioxide of air get assimilated in a stable product. This 3-PGA is the first stable product of Kelvin cycle, and as it is a 3-carbon compound, the entire cycle is also known as C3 cycle. The next phase, reduction. What happens during this phase? 3-PGA phosphoglycerate converted via several intermediate reaction into glucose. And during this conversion, the products like ATP, NADPH produced during light phase reactions help in this process. The next phase is the regeneration of RUBP. At the end of the Kelvin cycle, RUBP get regenerated so that it can initiate another fresh cycle of Kelvin cycle. So at the end of Kelvin cycle, plants are able to produce glucose, ADP and NADP+. So these are the end products of dark phase reaction of the plants. Generally, Kelvin cycle or C3 cycle is the most common reaction in plants for dark phase reaction. But there are several other reactions, that is C4 cycle or CAM cycle is also present in different types of plants for their particular mode of dark phase reaction. We will discuss about all these cycles in later. So from this discussion, we can easily understand that both the light phase and dark phase reactions are dependent on each other. The ATP and NADPH produced during light phase reaction are responsible to initiate different reactions during the dark phase, and ADP and NADP plus produced during dark phase reaction help the light phase reaction to continue. So, from today's discussion, I hope you got clear idea on the elementary concepts of photosynthesis. If you have anything to say about this video or any queries, you can make comments on the comment box. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.